Well, first of all, thank you very much. I've had the honor to visit with Michael Regan, and I've heard all kinds of good things about him, and I think we're going to get along real well. I told him during our introductory discussion how well I got along with particularly Lisa Jackson when she was in the Obama administration. In fact, she liked me so well, and I liked her so well, that we spent a lot of time together. And she even still today has my Christmas card picture of my kids on her wall. So we want to have that kind of relationship with you, and I think that's going to happen. I have 4 things I just want to mention. There won't be time to cover them, so I won't come in. I won't be asking for a lot of specific responses. One is on the Green New Deal. Now, you hear all kinds of extreme interpretations as to what does that mean. Things like banning fossil fuels, banning air travel, controlling how much beef we can eat, and all of these things. And the cost would be about $93 trillion. That, I believe, is accurate. And but the other thing that affects me, parochially, is that it's war on fossil fuels. That was behind us, I thought, for a while, and it looks like it may be coming back. So what I'd like to ask of you, Michael, is that you sit down with me and other members of this committee and talk over the different aspects of that, what is alleged to be the Green New Deal, and what it really is going to mean in terms of putting it together. I agreed with Senator Tillis that you're someone who listens and you want to be fair, and I think that would be a fair thing to do. What do you think?
Well, I can pledge to you that I will move forward the way I have in North Carolina, which is using the power to convene to bring everyone to the table. I would like to say that President Biden has his own ambitious climate plan, one that we believe harnesses the full power of government, but not only looks at regulations that will come from EPA, but investment strategies that come from the broader government. And so I look forward to engaging with you and your colleagues on how we execute on the president's vision for an ambitious climate goal.
Okay, that's very fair. Now, the second of the 4 things I wanted to bring up having to do with the WOTUS bill. Back during the Obama administration, they had the WOTUS bill, and it was essentially, for those who might be new on this committee and not familiar with what that meant, it's the water regulation that would be transferred from the states to the federal government. This is something that the American Farm Bureau and all of the agricultural organizations had down as its major concern at that time. Then along came President Trump and changed that, added a new rule that I thought was working quite well. My question on that one would be that can we have a chance to talk about that, because that issue is going to be the one, and politically I have to say this too, it's one that everyone ought to be concerned about, because that is the #1 issue in accordance with most. The third thing I want to bring up is on pipelines. I noticed that you approved a permit for the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. You denied a permit for the Mountain Valley Pipeline. There may be, for the record, in writing, you can come back and kind of distinguish between the 2 of them and what your feelings are about pipelines. And lastly, I wanted to mention the small refinery exemptions. Now, in by state of Oklahoma, the Clean Air Act exempts small refineries facing with, quote, disproportionate economic hardship from the costly renewable fuel standards. Now, the action I'd like to ask for you would be the United States Supreme Court has already taken up the case of HollyFrontier versus the EPA, which would seem logical to me that before establishing any real policies concerning small refinery exemptions, it might be a good idea to get the response from the United States Supreme Court on that case. What do you think?
I think that's one way to go. The one thing that I know I have to do is consult with our general counsel, understand where we are in the legal process, and also understand what options do we have to continue conversations. I think that the courts will give us some ruling, but I also don't want to lose the opportunity to take a look at what we've learned with the Obama-era waters of the U.S. and the Trump-era waters of the U.S. As a state secretary, I've been on the receiving end of both. I've had conversations with farmers about both. And I think that we do have a clear opportunity to look at how we protect our water quality while not overburdening our small farmers. And so while we're looking at all of our opportunities through the legal system, I don't want litigation to stifle what we can come up with as stakeholders having a conversation. So I look forward to working with you on that.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.